The high school football season is a month old today, which means we're past the midway point of the regular season, and we have some marquee matchups coming up this week, including the top two teams squaring off in Class 2A with St. Mary's hosting Shanley. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Jody Norstedt joins us to recap all the action and hand out our weekly game ball for Friday's top performer. Jody?
Hey Kelly, yes, that game on Friday in Bismarck is going to be fun, isn't it? St. Mary's just gave up its first points of the season on Friday. Jamestown made it tough on them. Meanwhile, Shanley just scored 63 on Turtle Mountain last week. We'll preview that matchup later this week. I think the biggest victories in 3A on Friday came from Bismarck, piling up 41 points on what has really been an outstanding Fargo South defense. And then it's what Minot was able to do to Legacy, shutting them out and winning 36-0. Legacy entered the game averaging 27 points per game, and the Magicians blanked them. In fact, it's their second consecutive shutout victory. They also picked off Legacy 3 times in the first quarter, which set the tone for the rest of the game. Head coach Barry Holman was pretty happy with the growth of his team after some tough learning lessons earlier in the year.
Well, you know what? Today was the first time we've played well in the third quarter, and that's the truth. So we just challenged our kids. We got to play a full game of football. I think we're understanding what it's taken, and we're making strides, and we got a long way to go.
It's a lot of fun. You come out and, you know, the defense plays really good like that. We stop them on, I don't even know, so many times like that. You know, it elevates our team, and we do so good together. Like, that's the best we've played. You know, we knew we could do it. We just had to come out and execute it this time.
And Minot gets that big matchup with Century this week. Let's take a look at our top performers list from this past week. A reminder to submit these by Monday at noon if you want them to be eligible candidates. We had some more big numbers put up across the state. We start at that 3A level where Bismarck's Will Mather was on fire Friday night, leading the 5th-ranked Demons to a 41-14 victory over number 3 Fargo South. Mather scored on a QB sneak to put the Demons up 14-0 in the first, and then he finished with a season-high 297 yards through the air to go with 2 more touchdowns. The Demons' offense is gaining some confidence right now. Speaking of confidence, it should be overflowing at Fargo Davies after the Eagles torched Central through the air. Junior quarterback Jesse Forknell put up numbers that would make Case Keenum blush. He completed 9 of 14 passes for 360 yards and 5 touchdowns. Jayden Clabo was his favorite target. Look at those receiving numbers. 5 catches for 224 yards and 4 touchdowns. Are you kidding me? Meanwhile, Minot's defense, as we just talked about, the 3 first-quarter interceptions, the Magicians played great against Legacy's dynamic offense. Devils Lake had a huge day on the ground in a 52-12 win over Valley City. Joey Hornstein and Cordell Yoder combined for 318 yards rushing, 5 rushing touchdowns, and Yoder had a 31-yard touchdown catch. Shout out to that offensive line for paving the way for 440 total rushing yards. Jacob Halverson racked up over 200 receiving yards and 2 scores for Central Cass in a losing effort to Watford City. We were in Enderlin on Friday for Grant Skager's latest highlight performance. The Hillsborough Central Valley running back went for 145 and 3 touchdowns on the ground while not having to play much at all in the second half. Jaden Mitchell makes the list again after passing for 128 yards and 3 touchdowns through the air. He added 2 more on the ground for unbeaten Shiloh Christian. And closing it out is Thompson Jr. running back Nick Reck, the 5'9", 155-pound rusher, piled up 232 yards on 23 carries, reaching pay dirt on 3 different occasions, and also reaching the real dirt there. The Tommies are 5-1 and just added 5th-ranked North Prairie to the schedule for this week. That should be a lot of fun. Our game ball goes to a young man who was a menace on both sides of the ball. Dickinson Trinity's Noah Sickler hauled in 3 passes for 81 yards and 2 touchdowns, but apparently that wasn't enough. He also picked off 3 passes and returned 2 of them for touchdowns. So essentially, he caught 2 touchdown passes from both quarterbacks on Friday night. Noah Sickler, you get the game ball this week. That puts a wrap on our coverage from this past week. We're already making plans for where our cameras will be for Varsity Sports Live on Friday, so stay tuned for what should be an exciting week. Back to you, Kelly.
All right, good stuff. Thanks, Jody. When we come back, a quick recap of our FCS highlights plus the best of for the weekend. There were a lot of impressive performances. We'll be right back.